Hey, what's going on everyone? I'm Tony with RcHelpDotCom. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to shorten servo leads. Now, I know I've already done a video on shortening servo leads, but in that video, you had to take the servo apart, unsolder the servo leads, cut the leads, strip them, tin them, and then solder them back onto the servo, and then put the servo back together. Now, first and foremost, this just destroys your warranty on your servo. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how to take this servo lead, cut the wire, use a pair of crimpers, put the correct ends on it, and shorten that servo lead so that you don't have all that wire hanging on your helicopter, hanging on your airplane, hanging on your quad, or whatever you happen to be building. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive up close. I'll show you how to shorten the servo lead. Alright guys, so in order to shorten this servo lead, you're going to need a few tools. Obviously, you're going to need a pair of crimpers. Now I just picked these up from Hobby King, and as you can see, they have two different sizes in each one of these grooves. And what that's for, this back part is to crimp onto the insulation, and then this part over here is to crimp onto the wire itself. Now on the size of plugs that we're going to be doing, we're going to start with this bigger one, but we're going to finish in this smaller one. It seems to give me a little bit better crimp. This doesn't make a perfect crimp, but it is good enough to get the job done. Now the other thing that you guys are going to need is you're going to need your ends to crimp onto it, and you're going to need your pieces to put over those crimped ends so that you have an actual servo plug. Now, as you can see here, we've got the males, and here we have the females. We'll use the males on stuff like servo extensions, and then all you got to do is go ahead and stick them through your 3-prong, 4-prong, 5-prong, whatever prong you need, and then you're going to need to get a sleeve so that you can put another 3-prong that has the female ends and actually put them together. In this video though, we're only going to be using the female ends. And by the way, I picked up this entire kit for about $5 on eBay, and it works fantastic. Alright, so the first things first, we've got a long servo lead. Say this is a tail servo, it's sitting really close to the receiver, and we need to cut it off, we'll say somewhere about right there. Now unfortunately, these are the only cutters that I have, so all you'll do, you'll go in there and you'll cut the wire. Then you just grab the wires, go ahead and strip them apart, and now you need to strip the ends. Now some of y'all may not have nails strong enough, but usually you can just pull it apart just like that. If you don't, use a stripper, use an X-Acto knife, use a pocket knife, but if you cut yourself, it's not my fault. Once you have your ends stripped, you're going to want to kind of twist these wires together so that they don't fray out on you. Now what we need to do is just go ahead, break off one of these pins, which sometimes is easier said than done, especially when you're having to look around a camera. And then we need to load this little guy into this little guy. So all you got to do is take it, and I put it in there to where it's about even right here. Once you have it in there, this is a ratcheting tool. I put it in 4 clicks, that way it holds this thing in securely. Now, because of my OCD, I always try to put these things in the exact same way so I don't have to twist a wire. But you'll just bend the wire out of the way just like that. Then you'll take your wire and insert it into that plug, and then look on the other side and watch for that wire to get into the place where it's going to crimp the wire, and then just go ahead, crimp all the way down, and then it'll release. From there, what we do is we move over here to this side, and I go ahead and I crimp it over here as well. And then once you pop it out, that right there is what you have. Then all you do is repeat the process on the other 2 wires. And just to show y'all once again, put it in, make sure it's even with the top right there. I click it 4 times, take the wire, go ahead and just stick it on in there, look up in there and make sure you can see the wire, and then crimp it on down. Pop it out, put it in the next one, and then crimp it all the way down. Once again, there's your crimp. As you can see, I kind of got a little cattywampus on that one, and it kind of bent it just a hair. And just for good measure, we'll go ahead and do this 4th wire. Pop it in there, make sure you can see the wire down there, crimp it, move it over, and that's it. So now we have 3 wires with all of these plugs facing the same general way. This one's kind of cattywampus because I screwed it up. But you'll take your little servo end and you'll just feed the wire in. As you can see, that one's kind of being a pain to go in because I didn't crimp it right. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to stick it back into the crimper and see if I can't straighten that thing out. And once again, it tried to go cattywampus on me. That doesn't look a lot better, but it looks a little bit better, but it's still absolutely horrible. I would definitely redo this if I was going to use this servo on anything. But as you can see there, all three of them are in there and they're ready to go. Now for the male pins, it's exactly the same. So we'll just we'll load that pin up in there, 4 clicks, take our wire, go ahead and feed it in there, and we'll look over on that side, make sure we can see that wire in there, and then we'll go ahead, crimp it down, bring it over here, and then what I do, I line up where it's crimping right there. And that's it. And these plugs fit into this exact same plug, but whenever you get your kit, you're going to have a sleeve that'll go over this one that'll allow this to plug into that. And that's how easy it would be to make an extension out of this piece of wire that you just cut off. So guys, I hope that helps you out in how to shorten a servo wire to make your helicopters, airplanes, quads, whatever, a little bit neater. Because if you're like me, you like just tidy little wires that are going where they need to go, and there's none of that having to buckle them over and put zip ties on them or anything. That's just, it's horrendous to me. Even putting a wrap over these things is just a no-no in my book. It's too bulky and I just don't like it. I would rather shorten the servo wire to exactly the length that I need, put it in a helicopter, and know that it's going to fit perfectly, and that way my OCD can sleep at night and it's not bugging me. So guys, as always, please give this video a thumbs up. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, post them in the comments section below. And as always, I want to thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video.